Welcome back to the broadcast studio here at Cisco Live Melbourne. And what an experience it was to listen to Irving Tan as he delivered the keynote on Cisco's digital transformation journey. Our next topic in the deep dive conversation is around software-defined enterprise WAN. And with me in the studio, I've got Shaikh. He's a technical solutions architect in the enterprise networking sales organization. Good afternoon, Ali, and welcome to the broadcast.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Ali, great to have you not just at the broadcast, but also in Australia, spending time with our customers and our partners. But if we look at software-defined, times have changed. As businesses race to adopt the use of applications in multiple clouds, IT is realizing that the user experience is poor. That's because WAN networks that was designed in a different era are not ready to support the unprecedented explosion of WAN traffic that we see with the adoption of cloud. With that as a baseline, what is the state of SD-WAN today?
If we look at the market today, SD-WAN as a term, a couple of years back was a new term. People didn't know what it was. Now, pretty much everyone knows what SD-WAN is. In essence, it has become the foundation of what the routing environment, the enterprise network is going to be for the wide area for all businesses. Now, if I look at companies across the board, across the spectrum, small, medium business, enterprises, service providers, they all recognize the same business needs that you just highlighted. The applications, the fact that cloud is a presence, software as a service is a presence. The bandwidth requirements have changed. The security requirements have changed. I think everyone has understood that SD-WAN is essentially the future of the enterprise network space. If we look at Cisco's journey within the SD-WAN space, Cisco jumped into the SD-WAN space by acquiring Viptela a couple of years back. Now, when we think about Cisco's acquisitions, what you're seeing, and Irving mentioned this in his speech as well, was we're integrating them into our portfolio. We're looking to expand and enable businesses, enable digitization, enable transformation. SD-WAN has become, within the couple of years from acquisition, a key foundation of Cisco's strategy to enable the WAN for the businesses of the future.
Very true, and great to hear that. If we look at SD-WAN though, a couple of years back it was a multi-million-dollar market, but now it's literally entering $1 billion phase. What's driving the escalation?
If we look at what's driving the escalation is the digital transformation is accelerating. All those different drivers, infrastructure as service, software as a service, all these different requirements for colo, for IoT, the applications are exploding all over the place, and everything is growing at an exponential rate. SD-WAN, when it first came into the market, it attempted to solve the particular cost aspect of what WAN infrastructure used to be. But now, SD-WAN is entering that phase. It's no longer just about cost optimization. It's now becoming about how do I enable the businesses to grow faster and faster. And that's led to this acceleration where everyone across the spectrum is aggressively either pursuing an SD-WAN strategy or are already in the mix of deploying SD-WAN environments. And that's what's led to it transforming from $1 million market to $1 billion market. From a Cisco perspective, we are ideally placed because architecturally we've understood this transformation was not only coming, but we've been pushing this digital transformation. And so from our perspective, we are definitely very excited that this transformation is happening and that SD-WAN is transitioning into this $1 billion space.
Excellent. So why is Cisco so focused on pushing the SD-WAN expansion across its portfolio?
When we think about all the things that Cisco makes things for data center, for the campus, for remote branches, for remote workers, for IoT. Cisco makes applications. Cisco does a lot of things. But when we think about what connects all these entities together, we realize that it's the wide area space that has to be traversed. If a branch user needs to get to the data center, if an application needs to communicate to something in the cloud, it's going to have to go over the wide area. Cisco has historically understood the needs of the wide area very well. And this is why we know that for this transformation to truly succeed, the wide area is what we need to invest in. We need to grow SD-WAN. We need to grow its capabilities. We need to make sure everyone can avail the benefits to make sure that their digital transformation is successful.
Good, good. So if customers are adopting SD-WAN and we have these capabilities that we are delivering, what is the end state of the enterprise network going to be then for our customers?
This is the part that I get really excited about. As this goes forward, our software-defined story, when we talk about multi-cloud, when we talk about the fabrics and all the different spaces, whether it's the data center fabric or the campus fabric, what our end state, where Cisco is trying to take the customer to, that network of the future, is going to be a unified fabric, end-to-end, policy-driven, so that you, the customer, can make business decisions and tell your infrastructure to transform as needed. What we're trying to do is unify at a fabric layer. We're trying to move away from this individual node model of designing networks. We're looking at what are fabrics, how these fabrics can be programmed, how they will transform business logic into policy language and give the application experience we need. So as I look at the market space now, we're beginning that transformation across all the different wide area spaces. And in the next coming years, we're going to start seeing that boundary that used to separate the LAN, the WAN, the data center, the cloud is going to start to blur, where it's going to be a Cisco fabric that extends end to end, that ensures my security policy and my business logic is maintained. So my user experience is the most ideal experience that I can provide.
That will be truly phenomenal. Having a single policy view across all those different domains would be, is going to be great for us. So if we change gears, what is the latest capabilities in the Cisco portfolio from an SD-WAN perspective?
So let's explore this at length here. There's so much that we're doing within our portfolio. The first phase that Cisco brought in was, let's bring in SD-WAN across the routed platforms that people are familiar with. So we've got a very rich, historically, a router base.
Correct.
Lots of different flavors, lots of different interface types, lots of different deployment models. Everyone's historically been familiar that Cisco makes a lot of routers. The first thing we did was, let's bring SD-WAN to all of them. Let's enable anyone who's already made the investment to be able to use SD-WAN with the infrastructure that they've purchased. The next phase is going to be, now let's bring them additional capabilities. What is the most top of mind capability that everyone thinks of? And that is security. Security has to be embedded at every layer in the infrastructure. And you'll see that in all of our keynotes and all the presentations. We're thinking about security all the time. Now with the wide area changing, I'm accessing the cloud, I'm accessing data center, I have direct internet breakout. Having that security is essential. Now what does that security itself entail? There could be layers and layers of it. That is, I need firewall capability, I need cloud intelligence, I need machine learning, I need analytics. And we're making sure that the SD-WAN infrastructure, all the security capabilities that it gets, ties into everything that Cisco learns. So from a zero-day threat, URLs that update, we are looking at embedding and bringing all those capabilities directly into the routed platform. So that in itself has been exciting. But we didn't stop there. We started to look at, well, what other threats are there? And again, it comes down to cryptography. Cryptography itself, it's a complicated aspect of its own within the security space.
Correct.
Even there, we're looking at cutting edge capabilities. How to make sure that we use the strongest encryption standards to make sure that any data that traverses a Cisco-built SD-WAN environment, you can be guaranteed that it is protected, that there is nobody on earth that can intercept it and do anything with it. And that, I think, is in itself a big piece. It's also led to a whole bunch of exciting partnerships where cloud vendors, where all the different entities that we talk to, they're all looking at, well, Cisco's portfolio is constantly expanding with the integrations that we're going to be bringing with all our fabrics. There's a lot of exciting stuff that if you attend the different sessions here, you're going to see.
It's quite exciting. It's nice to see how we start right at the beginning, where we've got the whole, can almost say, variety of Cisco routed platforms out at a customer side, and how we make sure we can support everyone through that journey. So excellent conversation. So to move on to the next topic is, if you start talking to a customer or a partner that's got a very good grasp of the routed environment, how do you engage with them to explain the merits of SD-WAN?
The way I engage with them is, I tell them that the way Cisco's SD-WAN environment works is, we didn't build everything from scratch, or that we didn't reinvent the wheel. Mm-hmm. We took the learnings of routing protocols that we've helped build for the last 2 decades and took the best of those to make SD-WAN. So if you know the depths of BGP, of OSPF, of understanding how large-scale enterprise networks work, you'll appreciate the thought that went into building Cisco's SD-WAN, where the protocol has been built to make sure we can leverage those capabilities, so we can build very large-scale SD-WAN enterprise-grade networks, globally distributed, any number of endpoints. It is the beauty of taking the best of protocols that we have historically championed, knowing what it took to make the internet, knowing what it took to make MPLS VPNs. That is what has led to Cisco SD-WAN, and I think that is in itself exciting to customers who've been in the routing switching space for so long, who can appreciate the thought, the intricacy, the delightfulness of routing that was learned and has been used to make SD-WAN.
Excellent. No, that's great to know. And one thing is for sure, given the interest that's out there in the market in SD-WAN, I think you don't have a dull day. You've been kept busy and running around all around the world to support our largest customers as they embark on this massive transition.
It's true. The conversation, I think I'd like to say, has shifted from what is SD-WAN to how are we going to do SD-WAN in my environment? And that's, I think, a very exciting time to be doing Cisco's SD-WAN.
Exactly, and that's so true. And while we're at that point, you are presenting later on today. If I can remember correctly, 12:50 in a couple of minutes. Absolutely. You're going to run upstairs and talk about SD-WAN serviceability. I would encourage all our viewers here in Melbourne, if you want more information, take the time and go and attend Ali's session. For all our viewers that are remote, that are tuning into the live broadcast, the session will be recorded, and we're going to make it available on the Cisco Live on-demand portal, and you can consume it sometime around the 19th of March. From my side, Ali, it was a pleasure hosting you here. Really enjoy having you in Australia, participating in the event, talking to our customers, talking to our partners. All the best, and hope to see you around again next year so that we can continue the conversation.
Absolutely. I love coming to Australia.
Excellent. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your day.